Hi, welcome everyone for joining us today. And this is a recorded video, but please do leave a comment below this video if you have any questions, and we can always come back to it later. And today it's my honor to be here and with Karin here. And she is an expert in helping people get unstuck and to live their best lives. And welcome, Karin. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks so much, Vanessa. And I'm super honored to be here today. And for you, if you're listening today, I'm really honored that you're taking this time out for yourself. That's, I guess, my biggest takeaway for today is that you are worth this time and you are worth working on yourself. And you're going to hear a little bit through what I'm sharing today, that how you work on yourself and how you see yourself has everything to do with your business. And I know you want to work on your business. That's why you follow Vanessa. And so hopefully what I share today will give you some real tools and maybe some understanding of why you do what you do, why you get stuck when you get stuck, and how you can actually dissolve those barriers in front of you. So if this is something you're interested in, I'm super glad that you're here. Because I don't know about you, but I find myself stuck sometimes. No matter where we are in business, we do find moments in our life, in our business world, that we hit a ceiling. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, moving from being stuck to being unstoppable. And that was the tagline in the topic of today's session, was unleashing your potential in business and in life. And I find that when we learn these things for ourselves, it has positive effect in both our business and our life. So you might find that these things I'm going to share today might help you in your relationships, your intimate relationships, your marriages with your partner, and your special relationships with friends, your colleagues. Every area of your life, you can actually implement these tools and tips that I'm giving you today. So I feel that this is going to be super helpful to you. And I was just saying to Vanessa before we jumped on camera, it's like I had so much I wanted to share, but I've nailed it right down. And later you might want to take some notes on, if you're like me and you're listening to your podcasts while you're driving, there is a point where you need to close your eyes in my spiel. So yeah, probably pull over if you're driving or listen to it again later. But you might want to also take some notes, just because there's 4 points that will really help you get unstuck. Now, that's enough about explaining what's happening. A bit about me, because you don't know me and I'm aware of that. And so I've been helping people for over 20 years now, actually, to get unstuck in their life. That's what I've done. I've helped people moving from striving into thriving for over 20 years, and especially through life's challenges. And I've developed a unique methodology through this time. As you can imagine, I've collated stuff. I have a bit of an eclectic method, and I use a combination of counselling skills, because I've been a counsellor for many years with young people at risk. I use intuitive healing methods. Some of that has some spirituality attached to it, but all of it is actually founded and grounded in brain science, in neurology, and proven psychological technologies, even if some of them are really quite new. So I especially help people, as I mentioned, moving from their limiting beliefs to beliefs that really, really foster them and give them foundation for behaving and thinking in alignment with their destiny. Now, I believe you have a purpose in life, my friend. I really do. And I believe this world is waiting for you to live your purpose. And that's what I share with my clients, that you have a purpose, that you were born to be someone special, and that you were born to have an impact in this world. And my processes and methodologies help my clients move forward to be everything they were born to be, to let go of traumas, to release anxiety and stress, and releasing overwhelm. And these things hold many of us back. And today I'm going to share with you a few tips on how some of what you can do already now in removing some of those blockages in your life, because it's my desire that you really will be a woman that can prosper, not just in your business, but in every area of your life. So I'm so honored to be here. I really am. And I really see it as a privilege. And again, thanks, Vanessa, for this opportunity, because, yeah, it is just super special to be able to share this with a new bunch of women. So how do you get from being stuck to being unstoppable? That sounds like a quantum leap, doesn't it? But it is possible. So before I go on, I just want you to understand, really understand deep down in the very core of who you are as a person, in the core of your being, that you might have been sold some lies. You might have been told some things and you've believed these things. And some of that has led you to believe that you're broken. Some of us have been overwhelmed by so much crap, if I'm allowed to use that word, in our lives, that we believe deep down, our internal belief is that we are broken. But I want to share with you today that you are not broken, that you actually have everything within you right now, even as you're listening to this message, everything within you to succeed, not just in life, but even in your business. I want you to understand that in your heart of hearts, you have everything within you to succeed right now in your business. That's right, you do. And I'm going to share with you how that is possible. But before we go there, I want you just to place a hand on your heart. And this is what I do. I want you to feel who you are. So it might sound a bit weird, might be a bit weird, especially to those of us who are extremely pragmatic and practical. But I want you to pause right now and place a hand on your heart. Take a few really deep breaths right down into that heart space. And feel what comes to the forefront, what rises to the surface when I say that phrase again. You have everything within you that you need to succeed in business. Repeat that phrase to yourself right now, and you might want to close your eyes and really feel what that feels like. You are not broken. You are powerful. You are enough. And tell yourself, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough for my business. I am enough. There is enough of me to go around. There's enough of me to go around, from my business to my relationships to my family. I know how to do this in peace and in calm. There is enough peace. There is enough calm to cover my family, to cover my demands, all those things that are pulling on me. There is enough peace. I am enough, and there is enough peace. And I want you just to notice what emotions come to the forefront as you've done that. What thoughts rise to the surface? And whatever shows up, that's okay. We're just going to recognize it, acknowledge it, and allow it. And breathe into it. I am enough. And when you feel able to and you're ready to, you can open your eyes again. So what does hold us back when we get stuck, when we feel stuck? When we're about to press that enter on our keyboard to launch maybe a new belief, a new course, I don't know, where do you feel stuck when you're about to even go live on something? It might be recording something. It might be going on some new thread, or it might be posting something on a new platform. Yeah, every day there's new platforms rising to the forefront, aren't there? Do we feel stuck in those moments? And when we feel stuck, what is actually happening? So what is actually happening inside of us is that there's an internal belief deep down within that actually doesn't line up with what we want to do. That's at the bottom of us feeling stuck. It's because we have an internal system within us that you've probably all heard of. It's called our subconscious. But I actually want to challenge you here and say, I'm going to call it our unconscious mind, because it actually is not sub. Sub usually is a term that is put in front of something to mean inferior. I actually believe our subconscious mind is superior to our conscious mind. Now, just to explain further, what's our conscious mind? That's where we think, that's where we make our decisions, where we make our processes, where we're aware. So right, just back then when we did that little exercise, we switched on our awareness from our conscious mind into our unconscious mind. We built a bridge between the two doing that little exercise. And you're going to understand as I share what was actually happening within you. So our conscious mind thinks, I'm going to launch this video for my clients to see, for my audience to see on Instagram. I'm going to launch this reel, but there's a blockage inside because our unconscious mind, our unconscious being, because our mind is actually located. Do you know what? It's not in our brain. Neuroscientists have discovered our mind is actually located in every cell of our body. That's right there. So every part of our being is going, no, don't launch this video. You're going to look like an idiot. What are people going to think? And you feel this resistance. That's what's going on inside. Something within you, deep within you, in your unconscious, is not lining up with your conscience. There's an incongruence there. There's a miscommunication there. Worse still, there's often a real conflict there, and they clash together. And usually, because your unconscious mind is powerful, your unconscious mind wins. So we get stuck. So our unconscious mind is so powerful because it actually operates our whole internal operating system, really. It's like your computer's hard drive. It stores every experience you've ever had, every emotion you've had, everything you've heard, everything you've seen is all stored in your unconscious mind. That is just mind-blowing, isn't it? It's like this mammoth, humongous library of information that makes you, you. And it actually stores information right from conception up until today. So that's your unconscious mind. It doesn't always come into your conscious mind until it needs to. So your unconscious mind is just truly incredible. A great example of how your unconscious mind works and how powerful it is thinking about something you do on automatic pilot. If you've learnt to drive a car, especially if you learnt to drive like a stick shift, or in Australia we call a manual, we do that instinctively now, don't we? We don't have to think, oh, clutch in, gear on, we don't have to do that. We just do it. We get behind the car, we put the ignition on, and we just instinctively know how to drive. And that's your unconscious mind. If you had to think how to do it, that would be really risky in moments like, say there's an impending collision. You don't want to think first, oh, foot on brake. You unconsciously want to put your foot on your brake to stop your car immediately. And that's what your unconscious mind does. It's brilliant. It runs your heart rate, it runs your blood pressure, it runs every operating system within you in your body, your digestion. You don't want to think about what you've just eaten and how you're going to break it down and digest it. Your unconscious mind deals with all of that so that your conscious mind can get on with what you should be doing. Until we get stuck and there's this incongruence, this clash between the two minds, if you like. And it's so often this happens. There's this misalignment. They are not aligned together. We think something, but we really believe something very different in our unconscious mind. Now, if you're a woman listening today, you've probably been on a diet and experienced this. If you've not been on a diet, I'd love to have been you, but most of us have somewhere along the line, we've tried to control our diet. Now, it might not be for weight loss, it might be for health reasons, but you might have experienced this. You're on a diet and it might be for weight loss, and throughout your diet, all you think about are those darn cookies in the cupboard. And it's like all the treats in your cupboard have conspired together to make your life hell while you're on this diet. And all you can think about is, I want a cookie, when really you should be dieting. That, my friend, is your unconscious mind. That is part of you, a part of you that might have been developed when you were way younger. It might have been a part of you that was even developed when you were a young child, when you were a young girl and you were deprived of any treat. And this young girl is still sitting within you screaming, I want a cookie now. When your adult mind is going, hang on a minute, we're on a diet. And you have this convergence, this clash of your minds. Because this happens because we are all products of our past experiences, as I mentioned earlier. Our past memories, our past even beliefs and thoughts, all those things that have happened since when you're in your womb, in your mother's womb. Every emotion has been stored away in that library. Every emotion, every thought of I'm not worthy, I'm not ready, I am a failure. Every time those things have been thought or felt, they get stored away deep down inside of us, often never seeing the light of day, often being hidden limiting beliefs and hidden blockages within your world. And we think they're hidden, but they actually do come to the forefront. They do reveal themselves. Now, I want to suggest to you that how you see yourself, how you believe about yourself, has everything to do with how successful you are and will be in your business. Now, amazing online business entrepreneur by the name of James Wedmore, you might have come across him. He actually says something along the lines of this, that the moment you start a business, a lot of reasons rise up within us as to why we shouldn't start this business. I know I've had those thoughts. You might have had those thoughts too. Why the heck am I doing this? And he goes on to say that this means we have to grow and transform personally in order to see our business grow. And I'm going to say that again. We have to grow personally in order to see our business grow. Because your business is a reflection of who you are and what you believe. The more you choose to grow your business, the more your business can grow. Because each level of business requires the next level of internal personal growth within you. So yes, you might be fighting some blockages right now, and you can bash through those today. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. But the next time you reach another level in your business, there's going to be a new limiting belief, believe it or not, that comes to the forefront. And you're going to have to beat that one too. Yes, it's an ongoing battle, but it doesn't have to be painful. And that's something else I'm going to show you. It can be fun. So this is a great challenge to us as we grow in our business and in our success. Am I willing to grow myself first? You see, our mindset, our beliefs, our thoughts about ourselves and the world around us will all need an upgrade in every level of development and growth in our business. Because as I said earlier, these limiting beliefs might be hidden from view right now and even from yourself, but they will reveal themselves sometime, somewhere down the track. And they're definitely going to reveal themselves to you as these blockages. Because these beliefs are the actual true you. These beliefs about how you think about yourself and the world around you is the number one most important thing to understand as you build your business. How you think about money, how you really, really unconsciously think about money is going to have everything to do with your ability to produce good marketing and to sell your offers. Everything. Because if I don't believe that I am worth it, oh, there's another huge limiting belief. If I don't believe I'm worth the $499 I'm asking for this product, this offer, I am going to struggle in my marketing, in my sales funnel, and especially in my sales talks and pitches. I will not speak with confidence if I do not internally believe this offer is worth $499. In fact, I'm not going to even speak with confidence or portray myself with confidence if I don't believe I'm worth $499. Now that might sound harsh, but that's actually a real struggle I had to face when I stepped into business. I didn't know how many limiting beliefs I had until I stepped into business. And every time I had to launch something, oh, wow, I discovered a new limiting belief. So that one's my personal one. I had to have a new relationship with money. And I'm discovering that relationship has to grow, that I have to have a mindset shift every time I'm asking for more money. Every time, darn it. But it is possible to stretch our unbelief, to move that out of the way, to dissolve it. So I want to challenge you. Being ready in your business isn't about how many followers you have on Instagram or Facebook. It isn't about how many certificates you've got hanging on the wall behind you. It isn't about how many years at university you spent, or even the qualifications you've got, or even the experience you have. It's about how willing are you to work on yourself in order to be who you need to be for your business to grow. How willing are you to work on your internal fears and your doubts and your failures? Now, this is where the rubber hits the road. You see, your brain is only interested in your survival, not interested in your thriving. That's a mind-blowing thing to understand. When I learned that was like, whoa, my brain is only interested in my survival? Like, seriously? Yes, seriously. It's only interested in your survival, in what it can pull from your experiences, from your past. Now, if you're like me, there's some skeletons in that closet I have shut the door firmly to and locked and bolted that door. Those skeletons still have a voice, and they will stop you from flourishing and thriving. And because that's what your brain believes. Those experiences have caused limiting beliefs that are holding you back, because it's learned that when I don't get treats as a little girl, it means I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. It means there's part of me that's broken, that's dysfunctional. It means, oh, wow, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not okay in this world. Oh no, I have to protect myself at all costs, and change and growth is painful. And that's what your internal is saying in those moments. So the next time you feel the fear, the anxiety, or those emotions rising to the forefront when you are about to step up, I want you to acknowledge, yes, it's uncomfortable, but any growth, any learning is uncomfortable, because your brain doesn't like change. Your brain sees this nervousness, this anxiety, and goes, hey, You've heard about the fight or flight response, right? Well, that's what your brain is doing. It is shutting down every system within your body to run away from this danger. Now, that was okay when it was saber-toothed tigers running after you, but it's not okay when you're about to step on a stage and do a presentation live. You need that fear, that anxiety to be calmed down sufficiently that you can activate your conscious mind, aka your notes and everything you're going to say. So how do we do that? What do you do? Yeah, yes, I felt a little bit nervous when I came on this podcast. I know Vanessa and I like Vanessa and I feel comfortable with Vanessa, but still I've got a bit nerve. I have had, actually, I've had 20 to 24 years of public speaking experience. I've been on stages, and I did the math the other day. I have spoken to over 25,000 people publicly. But every time I have to get on a stage, I feel nervous. It's not a bad thing. Nerves aren't all bad. Your anxiety isn't all bad, and that's also a lie we've been fed, because there are some functions in our body that actually function better when there is a bit of adrenaline, and that's what that nervousness does. It boots on that fight or flight response, and the adrenaline starts pumping through our brain. But we need to get that fight or flight response down to a manageable ability. Now, what did I do just before this? I jumped on this podcast. I did a bit of breathing, deep breathing and some grounding. I told myself, I've got this, I can do this. This is going to be a successful talk. And this is part of the process of what I'm going to share with you today. So you can easily do these things. They are not difficult. But the first step in this process is awareness. Now, I've had years of learning how to become aware, so I can do it just in a nanosecond, just like that. So it might be a little bit more challenging for you at first. Everything we do unconsciously has to come from the conscious mind first. So first conscious and then becomes unconscious. You learn to drive a car. First you did it consciously, very clunkily, and then it slipped into your unconscious when it didn't need that conscious thought again. That's going to be the same with this process. You're going to think about it first, and that's why I would love it for you to grab a pen and paper or grab your phone and take some notes while you're listening. And you're going to think about it consciously, and then eventually it'll slip into your unconscious mind. You won't have to do it consciously. It'll just happen automatically. That's what I did before this. I just didn't have to think of the 4 steps. I just did it unconsciously. So this is practically, my friend, how you get unstuck and become unstoppable. So grab that pen and paper, grab whatever device you're using to take notes, put this on pause, and when you've done that, start listening again. So what do you do when everything hits the fan and you need to do something? You need to perform, you need to explain, you need to train, you need to promote, whatever it is. What do you do when everything within you is going crazy? All I want you to do, first up, number 1 step is awareness. Awareness. You take notice, you become aware of your feelings that are rising up within you, aware of the fear, aware of the anxiety, aware of the pounding heart. Have you ever noticed you get a pounding heart? Some of us get sweaty palms. Some of us need to go to the bathroom. We feel uncomfortable physically. Notice all those feelings, all of it, each and every one of them. Butterflies in your tummy, in your stomach, whatever it is, your blood pressure. Some people feel their blood pressure increase. Notice it. Become aware of it. And then I want you to accept it. Even the uncomfortable, I want you to accept that. In this moment, I accept that I need to go to the bathroom. I accept I can't remember anything. I accept my stomach is full of butterflies. I accept I actually feel really sick. I accept that. I don't need to change that. I'm aware and I accept it. Sounds so simple, but in the moment it can be quite challenging at first. You'll get better at this. When we accept something, we let go of the battle. We let go of the need to fight. I actually had a conversation with, was actually a good friend just on this last night, and she was in this battle, and everything in her world was coming against her business, and she's a business marketing coach. She's all of this stuff from her business, things weren't surviving, and this was failing, that was failing, clients weren't doing what was, and on it went. And then she went into how the problems with her child and her bonus child and this child from her husband, and all of it was just this massive ball of overwhelm. She could not see the forest for the field, for the trees. Get my metaphors correct. She couldn't see the forest for the trees. Everything was overwhelming. So in the midst of all of that, I said, okay, I just want you to stop. I just want you to pause for a moment and let go of the battle. Drop your weapons. In the middle of the battle, drop your weapons. That means stop the arguing in your mind, stop the counter defenses in your thoughts, stop the negativity that's going on repeat in your mind. Just pause it. Press that pause button. Pause it. And just for a moment, allow yourself to be in a bubble of peace, if you like. Just pause and allow all the feelings to be there. All of the feelings. Whatever's deep down, let it come up. Just allow yourself to be. And when we accept it and let go of the battle, we actually discover there's real peace in that moment. It's like, whoa, someone just gave me permission to stop, and there's actual peace in that. So yes, I give you permission to stop. And then we go on to the second point. I want you to set a new goal. This one isn't a massive goal. This is just a teeny tiny little goal, the next step goal, the next step of what you have to do to get out of being stuck. When you just quickly, intuitively think, what is my next step? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Don't labor on this. What's your first step? What's the next little teeny tiny step? It might be searching for someone's contact details. It might be as simple as, I actually do need to go to the bathroom. It might be something like, I need to contact that person, or I need to research that particular topic. Whatever it is, write that down. We choose safe goals predominantly. That's okay for this next step. But I want you to understand this is your brain, again, playing it safe, surviving, not thriving, remember? So your steps possibly will start off in your comfort zone. We as humans tend to not go beyond our comfort zones without a push. This is why personal trainers have great jobs in gyms. They push us beyond what we feel comfortable with. We need to get out of protecting ourselves. We need to step out of these safe goals. So the next time you might want to choose a goal that doesn't quite feel safe, that's beyond your comfort zone, that feels a little bit scary, you might experience some anxiety, and that's normal. That's good. It means this is a good goal for you. So your unconscious mind doesn't quite want you to believe that you're able to do this, that you can step outside of your comfort zone, but your conscious mind does. And this is where the secret sauce is going to come into it. So have you written down what that goal is? What you know you need to do to move forward, to get unstuck? Not what you think you can do, what you know you need to do to get unstuck. Okay, write that goal down. Awesome. Point number 3, release and rewire. So first we have awareness. Secondly, what is the next small step? Or maybe not. Maybe it's the next uncomfortable step you need to take to move forward. And number 3 is release and rewire. So look at what you've got written down, your goal. I want you to read it aloud to yourself and become aware. Notice What is arising for you? What do you feel when you read that goal? Now, remember, your brain's probably telling you, go to safety. This is not good. And the fight or flight response is probably being triggered in your body. You're feeling nervous. You're feeling sweaty. Well, right now, in that moment, I invite you to take 3 to 5, however many it takes, deep, slow breaths. And as you do that, you're actually sending another signal to your brain, your unconscious mind. I'm safe. I'm okay. And you might even want to think those thoughts to yourself too as you breathe. I'm safe. I'm okay. Now, what this will do is that it will calm all those triggers. All that discomfort will start to dissolve in I'm safe, I'm okay, till there's not much left. I'm safe, I'm okay. Deep breathing is what does that. And you might even want to add a positive affirmation in there somewhere that, something you really, really do believe. I am going to have a successful training. This course will change so many lives. Start telling yourself what you want yourself to believe. And then point number 4, this comes from the book, The 7 Highly Effective, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This point is called Begin with the End in Mind. And this is the unstoppable you force. Begin with the end in mind. So instead of telling you about this, I'm going to let you experience it. So this is the point of, if you are driving, please don't pause your drive. Oh, well, please don't close your eyes, obviously, but you might want to pause this and go back to it later, or you might want to listen to it and come back and listen it again. But I would love you to close your eyes in this. And so stop what you're doing. If you're folding your washing, or if you're listening to this podcast while you're doing some what do you call it? Can't even think properly. If you are doing some posts, whatever you're doing, because we all do that, don't we? We listen to podcasts as we're doing our Canva work. I want you just to stop doing your Canva work, put that on hold for a moment, and spend this moment, just the next few moments, and really focusing on you. So close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, I want you to see that goal you've written down in front of your eyes right now, a little bit like a movie screen, right in the center of your vision. And just breathe into that goal. Breathe into that goal. And everything that rises, you're becoming aware of how your body's feeling, how you are feeling, the emotions that are attached to it. Become aware of what that goal feels like within you, within every part of you. And now I want you to imagine what is the flow-on effect of that next step. What will that next step take you to? And where will that step lead you to? And that step, and that step, until you're in your perfect business, your successful business. What does your successful business look like? What does your successful business feel like? And you might want to repeat to yourself, it feels like. It feels like abundance. It feels like freedom. Breathe into that. What does it feel like? It feels like happiness, fulfillment. It feels like freedom in breath. I can breathe again, not restrained. Freedom for my family. Who's present for you in your successful business? Who are you doing this successful business for? Picture them, your loved ones, your children, your spouse, your partner. Picture what effect this business is going to have on them. And what are you wearing? Where are you living in this successful business? What does your house look like in your successful business? And your vacations, where are you going? You can take vacations. How many can you take a year? What does that feel like for you and your family and your loved ones, your friends? And who are you helping in your business? What do they look like? What are they doing before they meet you, before they connect with you? What is their life like? And now they met you and they have worked with you. What is their life like? How has their life changed and shifted? I want you to see yourself taking this goal that you've written down now. How does that feel differently? And see yourself taking that like a step, one foot in front of the other, and then bigger goals, and then bigger goals, and then super ginormous goals. And it's like you can see the road that has led up to now. Your successful business was just a series of amazing steps. See the expansion, the growth in you, the growth in your confidence, your reach, your influence on people, your ability, your bank account. How does that feel? How does that feel? It feels like joy, deep-seated happiness. It feels like bliss. So breathe into that feeling right now, right into the center of who you are. And you can open your eyes now. And I want you to understand, my friend, that whatever you have just pictured is possible for you. Otherwise, you couldn't see it. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the power of quantum physics, a whole new area of science that I'm not going to go into right now, but it is actually science. This is not woo-woo. This is actual science. What you imagine, you can actually live into. You can actually become. It has actually already happened in another space, another sphere. So what you just imagined is possible. It already exists. And we have to feel what this success is before we can actually live it. We have to feel it. We are so intrinsically founded on our emotions and our feelings, and our logical, pragmatic world would scream at us that this is not true. But everything we feel has everything to do with how we behave and what we do, how we think, and how our business will grow. Everything, because every cell within us contains part of what we feel and our emotions and our feelings. Every part of our being is made up of this. So once we feel it, our brain is now geared, your brain is now geared to line your business up, your future up for that success. And the more often you do this visualization, the more readily your brain's going to believe it, and the more readily the blockages will be released. Now, what you weren't aware of right now, as we were doing that, was that you had your unconscious mind come to the party. It also came to this imagining, and limiting beliefs started actually dissolving as you started seeing these things. And I didn't explain that before because I didn't want you to be conscious of it, but you actually started shifting some unconscious beliefs right then in that visualization. And that's why I call this number 4. So begin with the end in mind. See what you're going to do, and this lines up with everything you're doing in life. See what you want it to be, and then start from there. Begin with the end in mind. This is the power of your unconscious mind. It will now start to support you instead of working against you. What you focus on becomes your greatest reality. Everything within you will work now to what you are focused on. So we take our focus off fear and uncertainty in those moments, and we step into where we feel we are in control. You get to choose how you show up in every given moment. Every given moment you get to choose. You get to choose fear or purpose. And when we step in that purpose, we are letting go of fear. Fear is a massive liar. Fear is a liar. Your purpose, your goal, your why will be what keeps you moving forward when we take our focus off that lying fear. You get to choose what your brain does, how it is functioning in that space, and how it connects with your ideal successful you. What your brain believes now is totally within your control. You have the power for that. You have the internal capacity, as I said earlier, to succeed in every part of your life. So I hope you can see now that succeeding in business has nothing to do with how many qualifications you have. That has nothing to do with even your experience. So if you're starting out, this is not a handicap. It really is not. Your starting and beginning is not a handicap, a deterrent to your success. It isn't. But I do want to suggest to you, and keep this in the back of your mind too, that sometimes the greatest influencers out there in the online space are not the best coaches. Sometimes the best coaches are hindered by their success as a coach to be able to sell well and to work well in marketing. And this is why it's so important to connect with someone like Vanessa, because we don't see our own blind spots. We need a marketing coach to help us to see where we're held back in our marketing, because being a good coach often means that you aren't a great seller. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, which I'm not going to go into now. So just remember, it's not about your education, not about your experience. Sometimes the biggest successful online coaches will be actually the worst coaches in their outworking of their actual success with their clients. They just happen to be brilliant marketers. So it's not what you do, what you are, I have to rephrase this. You just proved right now to yourself what you are capable of doing. And I want you to hold on to that and keep replaying that memory is now part of your brain. Your brain believes that this has happened, that this is true. That's the power of neurology. Your brain just believes that what you imagined is actually your truth right now. So it's not about, do I have what it takes to make this business grow? But am I willing to give my business everything I need it to in order for it to grow? Am I willing to challenge myself to grow internally? Am I willing to learn new things, new technologies, new platforms, new marketing skills? Am I willing to feel uncomfortable in order to grow? That's what it really is, what we're talking about today. But if you've come across some, I just want to mention, if you've come across some roadblocks today, and it would be remiss of me not to say this, but if you have come across some roadblocks today and limiting beliefs that have come to the forefront that are really disturbing you, please talk to a trusted friend or a therapist. If you're in counselling, take this to your counsellor. These are not some things that it might have come to the forefront are not trivial, and I acknowledge that. These 4 steps might not be enough for everybody in every instance, but mostly for most things they can work really well. Now, if you would love to reach out to me, I also offer one-on-one sessions, and I'd be really honoured to walk with you to help you with your limiting beliefs and your breakthroughs. I actually have this method of relax, release and rewire, which is you've got a little snapshot of today, and it would be my honour to work with you. And we will, I think Vanessa's going to put in the chat some links for you in a little after this podcast, so you can see how you can reach out to me and I can help you work through those beliefs. And also, because you are one of Vanessa's clients, one of her members in her group, I have a really special offer. And I've been holding off to actually release this because I really wanted to make it special for you and Vanessa's clients. So I'm releasing, as of today, when you're listening to this, a new tool, and it's my goal busting tool. And a little bit, we've tapped into a little bit of it today, but it's more than what we've done today. And it's a tool that you can do in literally 5 to 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes when you start out and 5 minutes as you get better at it, that you can do every week or every time you need to achieve a new goal. And it's called the Intention Refresh. the fast track to gaining your goals. And this little tool is similar to what we've done. It's a visualization, but it's one that you can play on repeat. And it's a process that I actually do. Excuse me. I actually do this every week with my things to do list, and it just helps break down every limiting belief that's stopping me, and it helps me be organized. And I've done this with clients, and they've actually powered through some their things to do list, and they're like, holy moly, I got more done this week than I ever done in the past. So it's like greasing the cogs that need to work. We put some grease in there and everything flows easily. So this tool, my intention refresh, I was going to launch for $19 US to you today, but I have had a change of heart as of this morning, and I'm launching it to you at $9. That's it, $9 US, which equates to about 14 Australian dollars. Now, at $9 US, you can start working through your things to do list, and I think you can see it's a bit of a no-brainer. So if you want the link to that will also be in the message below. And again, thank you so much for listening. It's been an honor and a privilege to hang out with you at this time. And I know Vanessa has got some questions for me. Some of these questions might be questions you're having. So while I wind up, I want you to remember that you have everything within you to succeed. You are not broken. You are powerful, my friend, to have the amazing, most incredible business of your dreams. And that is my deepest desire. See, it even makes me emotional thinking about you succeeding, because that's totally 100% what I believe. So it's been a real honor, and thank you for taking this time out in your day to spend some time on yourself. You're going to have an amazing business, and I can't wait to hear from Vanessa how you have grown. So hi, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Karen. I don't know about my audience, but personally, I love listening to you. I just get like,
thank you.
Yeah, it's just so like a natural presenter.
Thank
Really.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
That means a lot.
You can share about like your public speaking skills, because I'm not really good at public speaking.
Well, and I must just say, talking to a camera is so different than talking to a person. So I have to do a lot of imagining even while I'm public speaking, which someone once gave me this tip, because believe it or not, even though I've had 20 years of public speaking experience, I actually had this massive roadblock when I had to start speaking on camera. And I did not go on camera for a year and a half in my business, because it was this blockage. So everything I've shared today are things I've worked through myself. And someone said to me, you put a little sticky note around your camera lens of a face, or take a fit picture of someone and put it around it, which I haven't done. But because I am good in my imagination, I imagine a person, and I imagine speaking to my ideal client. And that helps me move forward. And yeah, that helps me work through that limiting belief. I'm no longer talking to this black dot camera. I'm actually talking to a person now. And yeah, this is just another way that the imagination can help you with a limiting belief. Yeah.
So interesting, because I tried it before, put a little sticker like next to the camera. It works. Yep.
So you need, this is the power of imagination. And like for many of us, we've had our imagination shut down already in elementary school, in primary school. We've had, and I worked in schools for many years, and I actually saw this process happening in our children when they get to about the ages of 9 and 10. The learning becomes very different. Prior to that, schools are pretty good. They help kids use their imagination, but after that, the imagination doesn't get engaged anymore unless you've got a really great teacher who knows this. So we have got years of locked up imagination. Our imagination being locked up. And for any of you who has a husband or a male as a significant person in their life, you'll see it very, very realistically and predominantly in the males, because we're told to, especially as women in business, that we don't have a lot of female heroes in business yet, which is so sad. So where do we go to find our business heroes? We look at men, and how do men operate in business? And a lot of men operate in the left brain, the logical, the practical, the pragmatic. And we feel as women, we've got to do that in order to be successful. So we're not true to ourselves as a woman, even, because as women, we're actually very intuitive. We often have gut feelings, and that's our unconscious mind at work. We have gut feelings that motivate us, but we're told to shut that down because it's not practical, it's not logical, and to our own detriment. And this is what I love seeing it when clients go, what, I'm allowed to use my imagination, and that's allowed, and that's powerful. And yes, it is, because it helps us beyond those blockages. So it's very powerful.
Definitely. Yeah. So what you talk about today is such a huge topic. Like, we all want to get unstuck, not even in business, but also in life. So yeah, I love what you said about I am enough. That is so powerful.
Yeah. And that was one of my big internal roadblocks that I had to overcome. And I do find with most of my clients, when you scratch the surface and you go deeper, it usually is something along the lines of I am enough. That's I mean, there's some coaches that have built their whole business, their whole careers on I am enough, or I am powerful, or because it is just so intrinsically so much of what we need to know and understand.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have a couple of questions. Maybe you have already covered them, but I just because I'm a very practical person.
Yeah.
So I really want to ask this, because you talk about this subconscious mind and conscious mind.
Yep.
Sometimes when you get up in the morning, you're feeling the day is like, do you have any tips how to turn that into more in a positive way, or make it like a positive day to get you through? Yeah,
absolutely. There's actually something I teach about, and that's we just putting certain rituals. I call them rituals, and they're really just routines. And the reason it's a little bit different, rituals differ from routines, in that rituals have meaning attached to them, and often motion, like a reason we do it, where a routine is like brushing your teeth is a routine. We have a reason for that, but not an emotive one. So rituals normally an emotive reason. So one of those rituals is how we wake up in the morning. And the first way I wake up in the morning, yes, after the alarm sometimes, but you'll find that the more you go into good rituals, you often don't even need your alarm. Your body clock, your circadian rhythm will kick in, and you'll wake up before your alarm. But if you wake up with the alarm, you can still do this. And first thing I will do is focus on my intent for the day. So I set an intention for my day. I will sometimes go, right, what am I doing today? And I'll have a goal for my day. It might be how I feel today. It might be a feeling of being productive. And so not necessarily practical goals. It might be literally a feeling of I'm going to feel peaceful today, or I'm not going to feel overwhelmed today. It's best we focus on positivity, positive spin on things. I used to work in marketing back in my 20s, and I remember my marketing manager said to me, you can always phrase everything in a positive way, because in marketing we should always use positivity in our language. It was the same with our internal self. We should use positive language, then our brain will more likely accept it. So yeah, I do that. I set my intention for the day, and I love gratitude. Gratitude is one of my go-tos. So before I fall asleep and when I wake up, I will always be grateful for a few things. So I usually have 3 gratitudes that I play to myself too in the morning. And that, look, I'm not going to lie to you, some days you still have crap days, but that usually I get up and I'm like, yeah, I feel okay. If I can get up today, I can do this. Before I swing my legs out of my bed, that's what I'm doing. And just as a little side note, because you've probably got now, I love neuroscience, but your brain's actually in this particular rhythm. It's in a particular frequency when you just wake up, which is super key, super foundational for learning and understand, for things to develop within your being. let's put it that way. It's your delta brainwave. So in that moment before sleep and waking up is when that delta brainwave is actually taking place. And that is your prime time to lay your intentions for the day.
Wow, such a good tips. Didn't know about that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to practice.
Yeah, let me know how you go.
Yeah, definitely. And so I have blockage every day, limiting beliefs every day. So for a lot of us, especially for like a female online entrepreneur, we've got different roles, we're moms, your wife, there's a lot of roles. If you want to do something, your unconscious mind keeps stopping you doing it. Do you have any tips that we can move forward just to break through?
It'll be exactly the same as these tips I shared, Vanessa. And just as you, like now I've done it as clunky 4 steps, but as you get better at it, they all become 1 step really. So when I feel any blockage, like overwhelm in my family life, things happen with our children that can really be very impactful and overwhelming. If you have fur babies, something might happen with a fur baby that really affects your life. And that's a reality. They do hold us back that holds us back in our business too. And we have to address that before we can be even a good parent or a good fur parent. So I often then I'll do exactly what those 4 steps are. I will take some deep breaths. That's always my go-to. If you forget anything else, deep breathing is it is a powder keg of what it does within you. It literally will calm everything within you very, very quickly. Initially, it'll take a bit of time, but the more your body gets used to it, it'll go, oh, that's right. This is what we're doing. So I take some deep breaths. I remind my whole being, I'm safe, I'm okay. This isn't the end of the world. I am not going to die right now. And then in that process, my conscious brain then can start thinking more clearly. So first step is always awareness of, holy moly, this is overwhelming. I can't do this. And I become aware of that. I'm like, that's okay. It's okay. I'm allowed to be overwhelmed. This is big stuff. This is okay. And we often don't give ourselves permission to feel either. We often will shove the feeling down because in the moment we go, oh yeah, no, this isn't appropriate, or this makes me look like I'm weak, or that's okay. Like if it means stepping away from the situation, like if this stuff happens and you're at work, and you might be in a meeting, hey, it's not appropriate to cry. You might excuse yourself and go to the bathroom. And like I've done that. I have felt bullied by a boss before, and I've just had to excuse myself because I feel the emotion going. I don't want to cry in that moment, but it is important to express my emotion. Go to the bathroom, splash some water on my face, have that moment of, I feel this emotion, I acknowledge it, and it's okay. So this acknowledgement and release of that emotion is really important, because the more we stuff it down, because we're good stuffers, the more it will one day rise its ugly head in appropriate moments. So we become aware, we acknowledge that, we release that feeling as whatever needs to happen. And then we can, if you have the moment and the opportunity, you can imagine it going differently. Like back in that scenario where I was thinking about with my boss, I've actually imagined that meeting in the bathroom. I imagine that meeting being the best meeting ever instead of being really sucky. And I came away going, holy moly, it actually happened, because what happened was I turned up differently in that moment. So when you do this, you present differently to your child. You present differently to your animal. Like there's no point in panicking when something arises, because then you're just being swept up in everything that's happening around you. You need to turn up as that stable, peaceful being, because peace will however you show up will have ripple effect on everything around you. So when you show up with peace and calm, then that will ripple and have effect on everything and everyone around you. It's like if you've got a bowl of jelly, and you would drop like a Smartie, a sweet in the middle of that jello, it has ripples, it has ripple effects. So however you present will be how this situation will unfold. Yeah. Wow. So you can step into that calm. You have the capacity to step into the calm with those few steps that I shared earlier. Yeah.
Wow, I can see how valuable to actually work with you one-on-one.
Oh, thanks, Vanessa.
I can't wait to share the link with my audience. Definitely.
Yeah, awesome.
So your special like promotion for my audience for your refresh tool, that is so valuable. Thank you so much, Karin. Thank you so much.
It has really been my pleasure, and thank you so much for taking the courage. Like, you didn't know me when we started, so you've worked through things yourself. So thanks for having the courage to invite me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if my audience have any questions, they're going to put the comments below, so you can come back and comment on that as well.
And Vanessa, if you mention me, well, actually I'm in your group, but if you do it at everyone, I'll be tagged, and I will personally come in and answer any questions too, if you'd like that.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Vanessa.